playoff game, just the advantage that gives you being at Lumen?
Yeah, I think it's great. Obviously, travel is difficult in this league, and being back home is something that we always focus on to try and get. We didn't think it was going to be quite possible this year, but thankfully things worked out. So yeah, we're looking forward to being back in front of our fans.
And Megan, for you, 2 goals in your last game. Jess Fishlock scored. I think it's the first time both of you have scored in a game since like 2017. What kind of momentum does that give you? As per Ryan, I'm not taking any stat.
No, I mean it's great for us. Obviously, I think definitely me. That's my job. Being a forward is to create chances and score goals and give us a chance to win the game. So hopefully we can keep that going. I think we scored the goals, but it was such a team effort on the weekend. The team putting us in a great spot to just be able to finish that. So, like Harv said, it's great to be at home, not to have to travel again, and hopefully keep that momentum going, and looking forward to a great game tomorrow.
When you look at Angel City, what really stands out? Obviously, they had a great game in their last time out.
Yeah, I think obviously since the coaching change, they've been on a roll. They like to play. They play very expansively and create opportunities a lot, which they've obviously took their chances last week. And we've played them. We play them a lot because we play them in the Challenge Cup too. So they're a familiar sort of opponent to us. And we know that they have threats everywhere, but we also know that if we can be disciplined in the things that we like to take care of, that we can also cause them a problem.
Any update on Rose LaBelle?
She's available. Yeah, I think it'll be how many minutes she can play, just depending on how she feels after today. But she'll be available to play.
I'm also curious, with the not being able to win a playoff game since 2015, you had the streak of making it over and over again. But Megan, what does it mean to get that monkey off your back and continue to win playoff games?
Yeah, it's huge for us. Obviously, this is the most important game of the season now. This is the only thing that we're focused on. It's obviously one of our goals every year just to get in the playoffs. So it's you always want to be in the hunt and have a chance in this part of the season. So we feel really proud about that and really excited about that. And then it's just about putting a good performance out there and just kind of leaving everything out there. I think that would be my message to the team is like, just enjoy it. This is the best part of the season. This is the best part of even being a professional athlete, is to play in meaningful games. So just for us to enjoy it, hopefully have a great crowd tomorrow and a great atmosphere, and looking forward to keeping the season going.
All right, we'll take Jada on Zoom. Jada, go ahead.
Thanks for the time. Megan, I wanted to know how different this week is now that you officially know that this would be the last game at Lumen for you.
Yeah, could have been the last game in Chicago too. So it's, I definitely have thought that. Obviously, do or die playoffs. The last game of my whole life, but the last game of people's seasons, and everything's on the line. Like I just said, like I love these games. These are the games that you want to be in. To me, this is the whole point of being a professional athlete and of putting all the time and work in that you do, is to be in these most meaningful games. So I think for me, it's mostly about performance and putting my best foot forward, team putting their best foot forward, going on, giving it all. Like whatever happens. Obviously, I hope we win, and I think we have a great chance at that, and playing really well and a good vibe within the group. But if that's the last one, then that's the last one. I'm not really too stressed about that. I'm just more focused on enjoying the game, enjoying this part of the season. We've worked really hard and had to dig really deep this season to get to this point, to host a playoff game. That's why you say you never know what's going to happen. We didn't think that this was even possible to host a playoff game. So, enjoying that and just going out there and, putting good performance. And I think just realizing how special it is and lucky I am to be in another meaningful game and not have, the last time that I ever played just be a friendly or be in something that didn't matter.
Okay, next we have Steph.
Thanks. This is a question for Laura first and then one for Megan. Laura, looking specifically at Angel City, this is a midfield that has shifted around a little bit, but they talk about how Amandine Henry provides some stability there, occupying wide spaces, Savannah McCaskill pushing a little higher. Just wondering, pitting your team against a midfield that has maybe built in some fluidity, obviously without giving away your game plan, what you see as some of the keys to that. And for Megan, sorry, this feels a little bit random, but Ella Masser said you used to call her Cabeza, and I was just wondering if there was a story there.
She has a huge head. I don't know what to say. It's big. It's above average size. Her brain also, so it's a compliment backhanded. Love her.
Okay.
Laura, the midfield.
Okay. I always think in games. Sorry, I'm a little bit taken aback by the head comment. Yeah, it's big. It's big.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
She's blessed.
I think most games in this league, midfield battles win the game. I think being able to stop them, being able to force them to do things they don't want to do, and our midfield being able to get on the ball and dominate. When we can do that, we always feel like we can dominate games. So yeah, I think obviously the introduction of Amandine coming back to the league and Angel City definitely gives them experience, definitely gives them a high level player for sure. But I actually think that they've been that way the whole time, to be honest. I think that they've always sort of been very fluid. They've tried to move the ball around. They always want to get on the ball. Obviously we've had Madison and Danny here at the Reign, so we know them pretty well. And yeah, I just think in any game in this league, you've got to be able to win the midfield battle. And if you do, then you tend to get the result that you want.
Thank you.
Thanks, and then we'll take Jeff.
Thanks everybody for doing this. Megan, I know you've been asked a lot about, you personally in these sort of, as you've been counting down these days. I'm wondering if you, kind of from a Reign perspective and what it's meant to your career, how much have you thought about sort of what a title would mean in that sense, in a team sense? And, have you allowed yourself to think about, the finality of a shot at that trophy from a team sense?
Yeah, I mean, I've been really open. It's a huge hole, I feel like, in my career and just like in, what means most to me throughout my entire career. Obviously, we've had great teams here, some of the best ever teams here with the Reign, and haven't been able to get that one elusive piece of silverware. So that would mean the world to me. I would absolutely love that. I'll put every single thing into it to try to get that, as we do every year. That would, of course, be like a perfect scripted ending. But again, it's like you got to play one game at a time, and I try not to. It's like, of course, I want that. Of course, I want to win the championship, and of course, that would mean so much for the entirety of my career. But I try not to think about it like that, all at one time. That's never really been kind of how I've focused and sort of what my priorities are. Just try to do things day by day, and I think it's gotten a little bit easier. I think coming back from the World Cup, it was a little tough, I think, to hold it all, because it's like I'm holding like that career, I'm holding this career. Trying to enjoy the celebration games and everything, which was amazing, but sort of overwhelming in a lot of ways. So I think it's gotten easier as I have those games behind me to just kind of focus on the day-to-day, which I'm really enjoying. I just like coming into work and doing the practice on the day and not really having to do much else. So that's what I'm focused on, and I think that's what's going to be required of me to to play well tomorrow. I think that showed in Chicago, just not having a ton of other stuff going on. So of course I've thought about it, and of course that would mean everything, but just trying to focus on this game and put a good performance out tomorrow, so we can continue the season.
Thanks, Megan.
Mm-hmm.
Next, we'll take one from Steven.
Megan, I want to ask, last weekend we saw a lot of veteran players really stepping up. You had the brace, Jess Fishlock scored, Sidney LaRue had a ridiculous bicycle kick that helped carry Angel City into the playoffs. Ali Krieger basically saved Gotham's season with the ball off the line. I wonder if you could talk a little bit about bringing this kind of experience in do or die games into the playoffs and being able to kind of transmit that to the younger generation of players coming up behind you.
I mean, I think it's a real testament to how much the game has progressed and how much the sort of resourcing of teams and players has progressed. Like, of course, experience is king if you can get it, but you have to have the physicality enough to be able to be out there. There's a certain, load that you have to carry, a certain amount of running, a certain amount of physical fitness and ability that you have to be out there. There's plenty of amazing soccer players who can't do that right now, who are just, past their day. So when you can couple that both, it's just invaluable. It's like having another coach on the field. Having Ali Krieger be a center back is having another coach on the field. Having Jess and I on the field, just we've seen so much. You've been through so many of those moments. It's not like we don't get nervous or, don't ever get rattled, but we just have so much experience and we just have so much confidence in ourselves and understand the game so well. So I think you're going to see more of it. I think you're seeing more of it in men's sports because they have way more resources than we do, both individually as players and obviously in their clubs. But I think you're seeing the sort of life of athletes extend further than what it has been in the past, and that's, the medical department and, players having more money themselves to get the treatment that they need and take care of their bodies and be able to extend their career. So I think that's a big part of it. I know I spend a lot of money on my body. It's not quite pay for play, but almost. So, when I can couple that with, the experience that I have both, in this league and internationally, it's going to be a huge benefit for the team. And I think you're seeing that all over. So, there's a kind of sweet spot when the experience and the physicality are still there. And it's just invaluable to have those kinds of players on the field that, can push on. And of course you need, youth. It's certainly a young person's game and you need that youth around you. But when you can find that balance, it can be pretty dangerous and really difficult to stop.
And then we'll take one from John.
Thank you. One question for each of you. For Laura, since Becky's taken over Angel City, obviously they've taken off. So is there something that you've seen from her, maybe a formation change, different style of play that's allowed them to have the success they've had? And for Megan, for some of the younger players on the team who may be going through the playoffs for the first time, with all of the experience you have in the international level, with the rain, is there some words that you impart on the team? Is there something maybe you tell them of an experience you've had in the past that will maybe help them when the match starts tomorrow?
I don't actually think that Angel City have changed too much. I just think that Becky organised them. I think their midfield's slightly different, but I think, sport's a momentum game, and they got momentum. They got on a roll. They started to believe maybe more. I'm guessing helped with that. And I think sometimes that sort of just shift of a different voice, someone walking in the room that's just different and has a different way, can be really impactful. But there's not too much change in how they play. I just think that they're very, I think they've just got belief. I think they've got belief in what they do, and results can help with that. So I think she's obviously done a fantastic job.
I think my message for players is just really honestly to enjoy it. Like I said, this is the best part of the season. This is what you do all the work and the preparation for. If you're not prepared at this point, you're not going to be prepared. Like, there's nothing, we're not doing rocket science. Like, obviously these guys are working hard to put an amazing game plan for us together. But, at this point, like, you're kind of baked as what it is. And it's just about the little tweaks and locking in and being focused and not letting all the noise kind of come in. It's hard sometimes to manage stress, but I think just telling players, like, listen, like, you're prepared, you're good, the team is good, the game plan, Like the coaches will put that together. It's just about understanding your role, being really clear about what your role is, ask questions if you need to, but to really enjoy it. Like there's a lot of things that is really not that fun about being a professional athlete. And this is not one of them. This is what you do all the not fun stuff for, is to get to these moments where everything's on the line and, you have to win and you have to put it all out there, and you really get to, be the woman in the arena. Like, I just think there's nothing better. So I think that's always my message, is just go out and be yourself and try as much as you can to enjoy it and not have any regrets. Like, you don't get to go back in time. You don't get to redo things. You don't get to, I've been enough seasons under my belt. You don't get to go back and redo them. You don't get to, have that second chance. So, enjoy it and realize this is, just one little moment in and of itself, and just to make the most of it.
Thanks, John. And then we'll take one from Jada again.
Thanks. Excuse me. I wanted to ask you, Megan, if you, as far as the off-field responsibilities, is this the lightest that your schedule has been because of all of the, the retirement things and all of that being kind of in the past? Is this the lightest that your schedule has been as a player? And then also with that, what the both of you always mentioned about before, have you been able to do anything to help out to see if you can help get attendance numbers up on tomorrow, to have anything similar to what you had when you last played at Lumen?
Yeah, this is the lightest. I've basically said no to everything except, massages and spa appointments and naps. So I've just been relaxing and going to Krieger's party. But that was just a tiny one. No, it's honestly really nice. Like, it was wonderful. I wouldn't change anything, but you only have so much bandwidth, and it definitely was taxing to sort of do all that. But amazing at the same time. So yeah, it's been nice to have a much lighter schedule and just be able to, just focus on this and rest and be able to, prepare for the games that we had. I didn't quite hear the end of your question. Was it about getting people to Lumen for the game?
Yes, I wanted to see if you guys had any, since the Reign did a good job as far as getting 34,000 out there. And you guys have talked before about wanting the crowds to be consistently big. So has there been an opportunity, or did you even have a chance to participate in the getting people back?
Yeah, I think our participation in getting people back was playing in the game and winning the game and taking care of business. And, people know where we play and what time the game is. So obviously we're, we want people to come, and we want, we felt like we put on a great show in the last one, and I hope people saw what an incredible atmosphere it was and want to be a part of that again. I always struggle with this question because it is kind of frustrating. I think this has been the case for 10 years here, and like, it's not, we're giving everything. It's not always up to us how many people come to the game. So I would, push that back on the fans and the people out there, and I hope people come, and I hope people want to, enjoy and watch the game. It's going to be an incredible game. Both teams in really good form, and all the things that you want. You got all the superstars and all the drama and all the everything. So I feel like we've done our job in securing a home game, and hopefully a bunch of people come and watch.
All right, we'll take a couple more on Zoom, just Leslie and then Susie. Leslie, go ahead.
Hi there. How does the team bring levity in what's been a series of pretty high pressure games?
I think we've just been grinding. I think we've just known every game has something on the line. And like Pino said, I think we've been doing that to get to this stage. And now if we don't try and have that mentality going into tomorrow, we'll be letting ourselves down. So I think that just, it's sort of, we've had, because of the situation we were in the league, we've sort of known every game's had weight on it. And then tomorrow, this is what we've been grinding it for, like, to get to this stage. And now let's go out and perform at the level that we know we can. We showed that last week. Let's use that momentum, that vibe to keep pushing, so that, you know, all the stuff that we put on ourselves over this past month or so, we get the reward of that tomorrow by putting on a performance that we know we can do.
All right, and then we'll take one more on Zoom from Susie. Go ahead.
Thank you. You talked a little bit about, you know, Angel City likes to play like you guys, and one area where there's some similarity in chance creation is in crossing, although Angel City, I think, has attempted 100 more than any other team in the league. But I'm wondering what makes that hard to defend? And Megan, you've been on the other side of creating a lot of chances that way, and just like what is particularly hard for as an opponent when teams are creating a lot of chances for crosses?
I think if for them to put crosses in the box, they've got to be in an area of the field where they're able to do that first and foremost. So I think with us, prevention's always better than cure for us, so we always try and prevent that as much as possible. But I think the hard part of crossing and dealing with that is they're putting it in an area of the field where it's dangerous and dominant, right? And I think that we work a lot on talk a lot about, you know, how we structure ourselves to defend those moments, because we know when we're on the offensive side of that if anyone gives us certain areas of the goal or the 18-yard box, that we're going to try and exploit it. So I think first and foremost, try and prevent them from being in those areas as much as possible. And yeah, I think they have definitely become a crossing team over this season for sure. And I think that's just down to the fact that they have such an expansive shape, I think.
Right, and then any other in-person questions, or are we good?
Yeah, just, Coach, I wanted to ask you kind of a similar question. This team has made it to 5 straight playoff appearances.
Mm-hmm.
I know you haven't been there since the whole 2015, haven't won a playoff game since then, but
Yep.
What have you noticed as a coach, an experienced coach, that makes a difference in winning those playoff games that you can see from your team?
Yeah, I think it's been an interesting journey since even I've come back in the last 2, that I think in the first one we actually performed like crazily well. And, all the stats said if you didn't watch the game, you'd been like, there's no way they've lost that game. And then in the last one, we didn't perform very well. So I just think that if you can take care of your performance and then in the critical moments show a little bit of quality, that can be the difference between winning and losing games. And that's no different in a playoff game than it is, last week, like we dominated Chicago and in the first half had multiple chances but didn't take them. Then in the second half came out pretty quick and scored. And I just think in these moments, if you can set the tone early in the game, you give yourself a chance of really trying to get the momentum early. And I think especially when you're at home, that can be a big game changer. And when we played Kansas last time out, we conceded pretty early in the game and got put on the back foot. And we didn't really recover from that, which wasn't quite like us. So I think we've sort of felt both ways. We had one game against Washington, we were excellent. We just couldn't put the ball in the back of the net and we gave 2 goals up. And then against Kansas, we didn't get going really. And our performance, we came away being really disappointed. So I think that we felt it both ways. So tomorrow's the one where we put it all right together and get a great performance and take our chances when we have them.
Cool. Thanks, everyone.
Thanks, guys.
Appreciate you.